All right, so for date 19, patch notes for today, May 19th. Do the highlights that they get into right away: ally customization, hunt for the treasure hunter, Fasnacht Not Parade, item naming updates, backpack updates, and limited time challenges for nuclear winter. For ally customization, saying give your allies stylish new looks by sharing your wardrobe with them using the new option to customize their outfits. We already had a couple comments on potential craziness with giving allies certain things to wear. Um, my question is, will this bring up visual bugs? I'll get back into that later. The hunt for the treasure hunter, I was intrigued by this, and I'm definitely going to take advantage of it, hopefully as often as I can. Mole miners have discovered treasure in the ash heap starting May 21st. Hunt them down and claim their loot for yourself during a new limited time event. So we only have a couple days until that starts. Then after that, Fasnacht Parade's going to be coming back. They talk about how they kind of addressed some of the community's concerns and I guess tweaked a couple things. I'll get into that as well later. Item naming updates. We've made improvements to the way your weapons and armors are automatically named when you apply new mods and skins. I don't know too much about that, but anything that's going to be either a quality of life, whether it's less clicks or less visual craziness on the screen for weapons, I guess. I don't know. I have to look into that. There's also the backpack update saying changing your backpack's appearance is now as simple as applying a skin. You can now apply them to a small backpack too. So that's been something I guess the community's been looking to also get and make it easier on everybody to apply those. Especially that it's like if you buy from the item shop and then you have a hard time getting to it, it's not really all that great for that person, I guess. And then again, the Nuclear Winter limited time challenges that starts today, May 19th, and goes until June 11th. So for customizing your allies, starting today, you can now share wardrobe with your allies. There's going to be a new customize feature when you're talking to the ally in your camp. Talks about different things you can give them: outfits, headwear, costumes, armor. So the visual glitch, or at least my concern for something that might be a visual bug, thinking of last year with the Fache Not Parade, when we had, let's say, two pieces of Fasnacht gear on at a time or something like that, your character's head would disappear entirely. I'm curious to know if we could do something like that. I'm curious to know if there's going to be any visual bugs or honestly any bugs related to this, because I could already imagine some craziness like, oh, I gave my ally this to wear and then he duped it or something like that. So anything that somebody might consider a more rare, let's just say somebody wants a long coat. Theoretically, what happens if somehow that's a new dupe? That's already a concern of mine because this is going to be a new update, and let's see what kind of cycles through with this. I hope it's all smooth and there's no issues. I hope nothing disappears. They also say, additionally, when viewing another player's ally, it also tell you who owns the ally, so it's kind of like the turrets, I guess. Moving on to the hunt for the treasure hunter. They're talking about this event with the mole miners. They're going to be searching for their riches. Use your keen tracking sense to hunt down treasure hunter mole miners to collect their mole miner pails, which contain all the loot they've been hoarding. And there's going to be three different tiers. They talk about low, medium, high mole miner pails. Ornate, there's just like a basic one and a dusty one. The higher quality the pail, the better chance for rare loot. So this is already starting to make me think of kind of like the gift system, how we saw that. But hopefully it can give us some decent rewards that don't end up duped somehow again. They say the higher quality of the pail, the better chance for the loot, including outfits, mounted head plans. So I wonder if that's new ones or just kind of cycling out what we've already seen. New backpack plan, and the marine armor helmet plan. So I'm not too crazy about the helmet. I was enjoying the Radical Mask, but that was also patched today. Sure, that's in one of the notes further down. Um, so I probably will just go back to my character's main appearance, go back to using like the hat that I normally use and the getup like that. I don't think I'm gonna go for the Marine armor helmet, but for anybody that trying to complete their outfit, there you go. That also mentions crafting your own mole miner pails, and again, this makes me think of the gifts. So how we had kind of the gift wrap, and then you can go to the the workbench, and then you can go from there to make multiple gifts of different quality, very similar. Says you can also give or sell crafted pails to other players or keep them from yourself. And that's going to be starting in a couple of days. And that's apparently going from the 21st to the 25th. And they're talking about how these treasure hunter mole miners are legendary creatures, and we're going to hear them when they're nearby. This also makes me think of the Christmas event when we were fighting the Holiday Scorch. Then we heard like a little jingle. This could be a potentially interesting event to farm out some stuff. If you know there's legendary in the area and you just run into an area and you can hear it, that could also make farming out legendaries for that short time frame maybe a little more lucrative. I don't know. I'm thinking about that now because from the 21st to the 25th, we had I guess, a longer time frame with the Scorch and all that. And then I'm also thinking I have previous encounters with what was it, Project Appalachia? Kind of all that. I'm curious to know if they're going to tie in any challenges or any more statistics that they release on that. After that, they're talking about the Fasnacht Parade marches back to Helvetia. So this is already a year since we've seen this. Starting next week, you can travel to Helvetia to take part in the seasonal Fasnacht event. Um, so again, this seems very similar to last year, how they're describing it. Helping the bots hang decorations, gather ingredients for a feast, playing musical instruments, and then eventually they'll move on to the parade. Successfully guiding the marchers to the end of the parade route, and you'll get loot. The one good thing they're talking about is they've added a number of festive new masks this year. So I'm curious to know if this is going to be like the mask that we saw last year, but we're not in the loot table. They've also adjusted their drop rates following community feedback, so that's great that they're starting to kind of listen to the complaints of people that ran the event a bunch of times, which some of us did, and we never saw certain masks. I'm curious to know. We're gonna have to see a data mined list of what exactly is gonna be in the loot table, and let's say, is the winter man mask gonna be there? Is it gonna be something that only a few people get? And they also say while there's some still less common than others, they should drop more often this time. So hopefully it's gonna show through, and we're gonna get maybe some of the masks we were looking to get last year. It says you can also trade your Fasnacht masks to other players if you wish. That's, I guess, an interesting clarification that they are telling us. Like, it's not character bound, it's not account bound or any craziness. You can, at least trade them to other players. And then again, starting May 25th, again every hour at the top of the hour, full week that we're gonna be probably grinding that again. That was a lot of fun. I mean, honestly, all the events that we've already had, even though we've got Meat Week a few times, I would say I know that I've been waiting for Fasnacht to come back, and I was hoping to see it more than once a year. And again, I understand it's a seasonal event, but I'd have to look back at one of the Q&As that they had earlier on. So at least we're not just looking at this event once a year, because I enjoyed it. We seemed to have a lot of fun. Um, I do remember a few different bugs and craziness that we ran into, but even being earlier, in my character's lifetime on the game, it was a lot of fun. And especially trying to, grind out these rare masks right now. I don't know what those new masks are going to be, So again, hopefully we can get a data mined list of what to look forward to. So going with the automatic item name improvements, it says going forward, automatically generated names will appear in a much more consistent order and they will reliably include an item's main attributes. Additionally, item shop paint and skin names no longer overwrite the item's primary legendary effect name. So that's something I actually noticed while I've been transferring weapons between different characters. After a while, it just seems like if you're, putting a skin on it too, it's like almost off the screen. So I guess that's them responding to that. There's a couple other things in regard to how they're going through it. Yeah, so items should now generally follow this naming convention: primary legendary attribute, atomic shop cosmetic name, then mod name, then weapon name, which again still seems like it's going to be a giant name for any weapon. Moving forward, they also have backpack appearance updates. Improved backpack customization that you can now apply different appearances to your backpack as skins, so no more crafting required. And head to Armor Workbench to use the modify menu, so at that point you'll be able to do that. Skins can now be applied to small backpacks, as well as those who have not yet unlocked the normal backpack plan by completing the Order of the Tadpole quest. So at least now, again, you don't have to go through that, and you'll at least have whatever you get from the item shop, and you can apply it. Yeah, so you also, let's say, you can apply skins to your existing backpacks as well as your new ones you craft. Art and animation, barbecue grills get hungry when using barbecue grill. Your character will now appear to flip and grill some tasty steaks. Okay. Grognak's Throne. We've added a new animation that will play when sitting in Grognak's Throne so that you can survey your land with the royal confidence. Okay. Interesting. So they're going back, refining some things, adding more animations, so you're actually interacting with your stuff more, I guess. Which, again, leads me to believe, from what we've heard during their last Q&A on Reddit, like the AMA, um, and their recent post on, let's say, Twitter, they're interested in seeing what people can do on their camps. They're interested in how people kind of role play with their camps, and for example, people that have like bars and run a bunch of different events at their camps. It seems like they might start to cater a little bit more towards finding bases, and I guess again making where you want to interact more with what you have too. The Liberty Prime Power Armor. If you're a strong silent type, you may be pleased to know that we've added an alternate version Liberty Prime Power Armor helmet that will not play voice lines while you're wearing it. Okay, so that works. Players who own the Liberty Prime Power Armor can now craft a silent version of a helmet at the Power Armor station. That's such a good update. I remember we were saying like the first few times we heard it, it was awesome, but then while doing like a Scorched Beast Queen with not just one, but maybe a couple people that had that Liberty Prime Power Armor, it was fun for the first so many times, but then it did get maybe a little more excessive. Moving on to Nuclear Winter, limited time survivors challenges, unlock theme cosmetics. We've added 8 Nuclear Winter challenges that you can complete to earn new survivors themed cosmetics. And that rewards start today and last until let's say June 11th. So we do have some time. We have almost a month to do this, but definitely have to start grinding these out. One new challenge will appear in the character challenge menu each day until all 8 are available, and they will remain available until the end of the event. So again, we've seen this. Anybody that was trying to get, let's say, the glowing skeleton costume, saw that as well. You can earn the first reward with 150 XP, then it talks about 2,500. All others will each require 2,000 over XP. I don't remember the Overseer XP. I don't remember if it was the same way last time or if they've made it easier. As you complete each challenge, you'll be able to claim new theme rewards like new furniture for your camp, Survivor's Denim, and ghillie suit outfits. We were talking about seeing that one of the posts, as well as skins for Nuclear Winter's newest weapons, the bow, cattle prod, and Gauss shotgun. You can learn more about this event directly from Zax, and they have a post on that as well. And they also talk about the new weapons that have been added. Again, the bow, cattle prod, and the shotgun. Um, I'm curious to know how much is this going to dilute the weapon pool that we're looking into getting? How do they classify these weapons is my, question. Are they going to put all of these, let's say, in all yellow crates? Or are some of these going to be in blue crates? Or are they going to be OP and some of these are going to be in the orange crates and now we're getting less of what we're looking for? To bug fixes for the art and animation section, they say animations dying while playing an instrument no longer causes the instrument to become invisible after respawning. I died from a bug at a tent while playing an instrument, and I had no idea what happened, so that I guess is exactly what happened with that. Animations fix an issue that could cause the overseer to slide out of her chair before standing. I've definitely seen that with people at the crater. It's Ren. There's been multiple times where Ren's kind of sitting there and then slides around in place. Again, this is going to be interesting. I wonder if it's just for the Overseer. Fix our issue that could cause a player to fall through the world during character creation. Okay. Lighting, optimize the lighting inside the Overseer's house and the Wayward to address performance issues. I honestly think this is what's been causing my Xbox to freak out. I have the Xbox One X, and when I go to the overseer's house to the basement, I don't know what it is, but it makes my Xbox just, like the fan in the back just kick on really hard. And then if you put your hand behind there, you feel like a lot of heat come out of the Xbox for no reason. So I'm curious enough, that's what they mean? They also talk about a texture for the Gauss pistol skin, and now that's going to appear correctly with the drum mag mod. Camp and workshops, allies no longer sometimes attack the player's other camp objects and turrets. So, have already seen that one of the first days of Wastelanders being out, Sophia going, hiding behind something to attack my base. They also do talk about how turrets should not be attacking each other, and that's been a thing too. Um, Having camp locations now correctly closes the build menu for teammates who had it open while in the original build area. I've never had an issue with that. The Collectron station, the Communist Collectron, will now find propaganda flyers less often. Display cases. Assigning an item to display case can no longer sometimes prevent the player from crafting other items of that same type. That's strange. I think the display case has enough problems as it is. Exploits. Address the duplication exploit related to camp objects. Exploit again. Address a camp budget exploit. Lights have a few. Bulb lights no longer consume more camp budget than is intended, so that might help a few of my bases out. The klaxon wall light apparently had an issue where it was still being powered without power. That's going to be fixed. Locked objects in players' camp now better indicate to players who do not own them that they will become wanted if they pick the lock. I feel like, shouldn't you know that if you're going to somebody's stuff and you start breaking into it? I feel like that should be kind of a given. Workbenches, so trees too, real quick. Trees can now be placed on a wider variety of terrain types. I'm going to make a tree maze with that one pack, and they gave me the different seasonal trees. Or at least make some sort of barrier for the outside of my base because I'd rather have things that spawn on my base attack my trees and then only cost me wood as opposed to attacking my different vegetables that I got going on. Workbenches, players now can correctly use workbenches immediately after an NPC has used them. And then there's another workbench issue that they've addressed. Combat, there's a couple things to talk about, stealth and VATS. For VATS, changing the body part selected in VATS while using charging weapons like a bow or Gauss weapon no longer cause the next shot to hit the previously selected body part. Interesting. I'm curious to know what that means. I haven't really noticed anything like that with the bow. I have noticed that sometimes when you miss something and you keep shooting, maybe that's what the issue was. Maybe like now the bow can be a little bit more accurate. Stealth now, they're saying receiving stealth from multiple sources at once, like the Escape Artist perk card, Stealth Boys, Chameleon Armor, no longer causes enemies to instantly detect the player. Wow. I would imagine all those things stacking would make sure that you don't get found, but it says to detect the player. Okay, so that's fixed. Enemies, Blood Eagles no longer sometimes drop weapons that have nuclear winter mods as loot. This makes me think of that one bug that came into with what if certain weapons had scopes, they were like OP scopes and it had a very like distant range. Maybe something similar to that. Scorch fix an issue causing more boss Scorch to spawn on top of Thunder Mountain power plant than intended. Okay, Wendigo Colossus fix an issue that could cause Wendigo Colossus to suddenly stop taking damage. All right, so Invincible Wendigo Colossus, never heard of that. Challenges, daily, lose mine, foundation, and crater now have locations that are considered subterranean for challenges like level up in caves and mines. All right. Exploit addressed an exploit that could allow players to complete certain tadpole and possum challenges repeatedly for rewards. Wow, okay. Never heard about that until now. I can imagine people abusing that and getting what? Maybe they're getting XP or are they getting atoms? Because at that point, somebody just has infinite atoms doing that. That's crazy. Social, the claim different workshops challenge no longer requires the Spruce Knob workshop. The number of workshops needed to complete the challenge has been reduced from 20 to 18. All right, so they knocked off two. Fun. The complete different daily quest now correctly appears in the world category after completing the complete an event while in a group challenge. Different item fixes, Secret Service chest armor can now be repaired beyond 100% using the right perk. Apparently there's an exploit addressed an ammo exploit for weapons that use fusion core as ammos. Okay. Fusion cores fix several issues that could prevent weapons that use fusion cores as ammo, like the Gatling laser, from firing correctly. Um, Gas masks, Raider Skull mask, that's going to work correctly now. A couple of fixes with the headwear. The Free Radicals mask is no longer a legendary item, which is now consistent with all other headwear. Um, I was really into having another slot of unyielding, and I was looking to get a life saving. I had didn't like I had not known about that mask until I had failed two different characters opportunities to get that mask. I went in very aggressive twice and found out about the mask. Got unyielding and then wanted to do it again for life saving. I thought that was very interesting to have it like a chance of getting this legendary item. But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of them removing it. Sure, it was nice. Was it a little OP? I guess. I don't know. I heard somebody mention something like it wasn't fair or something along those lines, but again, it made a very interesting kind of grind. And you could have technically just made a new character and just got another one and then transferred it over. So I didn't really see anything too crazy. Somebody wants to say, oh, it's not fair that I couldn't get it. Actually, no, you can still get it. But now I'm going to throw that Free Radicals mask in my stash, and then I'm never going to take it out again. So it was fun while it lasted. Jetpacks fixed an issue allowing jetpack power armor mods and can now only be applied to the torso. Backpacks now correctly appear while wearing the Mountain Scout outfit. Power armor got a few fixes with the Strangler power armor at C51. Another one with the power armor station. Apparently they fixed a bug. Under Armor corrected the name of the plan to craft Secret Service Under Armor. Weapons got a couple of updates as well. Gatling guns now correctly display a fire rate of 20. Okay. Sophia's quest line is now correctly. Okay, yeah, so correctly awards a level 50 VATS unknown alien blaster to characters that are over level 50. And then the Gauss shotgun mods now correctly require the Science Master 1 perk. PCs, ally speaking with Commander Daguerre. Immediately after fast traveling during her quest line, no longer sometimes prevent Emerson from visiting. I had that issue. I had no idea what was going on. It was like a few days into the content being out, if not like the very first or second day, and I could not continue with that until the very next day. It was just randomly like, oh, okay, it works now. You can talk to Emerson and continue with that. I'm not too sure how widespread that was, but I do know the frustration of that. Dialogue exiting and quickly re-entering a dialogue with an NPC should no longer result in a notification stating this individual is busy. I had that issue as well. There's a couple other fixes with the NPCs. One I want to mention is Purveyor. Fix an issue that could prevent players from interacting with the Purveyor in first-person view. That's, I don't know what would have caused that. That's a little odd. Smiley won't tell you to keep buying his gold if you already bought it. Then moving on to some of the last things in this lengthy patch note list, which I'm happy to see. Onto the performance and stability section. Ton of server stability updates. There's a client stability updates to match. There's a bunch of stuff with server crashes, people building camps, perk cards, infinite loading screens. Let's see, nuclear winter crashes, private world crashes, quest target. Yeah, there's a few things here that I feel like we ran into. So again, hopefully we don't have to go through this. I would say honestly, for the various bugs that we run into, I haven't ran into too many crashes. I think in the past week I maybe ran into one crash. Somebody might say that's too much. Somebody might have also experienced more crashes than that per week, but they're knocking out a bunch of these crashes. That's awesome. Quests and events got some updates as well. Very lengthy section of quests and events. I will go down to the exploits, address a reputation exploit affecting a conversation with Meg. So I'm not sure if that's how people were exploiting rep. Another one addressed an exploit that could allow players to complete the vital equipment daily quest multiple times per day. So maybe that's the one that I've heard of. Thinking it's finally a good time to have that in place. I'm almost allied with Creator, and for Foundation, I'm still a little further off with my other character. Um, I've only missed a few opportunities to do those events, and I have done side locations, whether it was Marigold Pavilion or some of the other more popular ones. I've tried that, and I seem to be just shy of ally, and people have had ally for a while now. So that's going to be fixed now. That's going to again put things on a more even playing field. I know a bunch of people were excited to get the ammo machine, but again, I'm happy that that's fixed. There's again a bunch of quests and events that they talk about. Definitely suggest looking further into the article if you want to find out more about that. Sound got a couple of updates. Moving on to UI, I saw a couple of these I thought were interesting. Controls opening up the Pip-Boy while attempting to fast travel during combat no longer sometimes causes the controls to be unresponsive. I've had that happen. Crosshairs now correctly changed to an open square when passing over placed items that a player can interact with or pick up. All right. Fanfare treasury notes no longer play legendary item fanfare when removing them from the stash. All right. Never ran into that. I didn't even know you could stash those, to be honest. Login, the password field is now is cleared correctly after entering an incorrect password while attempting to link a okay, whatever. So that's linking your account. Menu's got a couple of fixes. Notifications, Pip-Boy. Item stats can no longer persist when switching to an empty tab in the Pip-Boy. Okay. Holding down the action button to equip, learn, or consume an item in the world now works more consistently. And there's a couple other things that they're mentioning here. Um, they're talking about also fixing trade and vending machines. Trade players can now inspect items when trading with other players, so that I'm glad is back. But unfortunately, the vending machines is not the good news we're looking for. It's talking about stacks of U.S. government supply requisition holotapes or technical data no longer sometimes disappear after being assigned to a vending machine. So rip to anybody that was collecting those and were starting to disappear. Again, the vending machine note we were looking for was that they're fine, up and running. There's going to be no more problems, but I'll have to wait on that. And then there's a couple of world things that they addressed in terms of the Cranberry Bog, Forest, Savage Divide, settlements, Toxic Valley, and NPCs. Seems to be kind of things that are helpful. Corrected pathing issues for several NPCs that can be found in the world. And I've seen multiple NPCs either sitting on benches that don't exist or them walking into walls again. I guess this will help with that. And again, a few other updates in the areas of, let's say, Savage Divide, Cranberry Bog. There's a few places mentioning the Wendigo Colossus. Apparently, it was getting stuck on different parts. Let's say Cranberry Bog and Slocum Joe's. But I don't know if people were exploiting that and getting it stuck and just killing it over and over again, and that's how maybe they were farming it out. Then finally, we have nuclear winter bug fixes. There's a few camp ones. Updated the list of buildable and non-buildable atomic shop items in nuclear winter. Then camp removed a non-functional activator from the scrap box when it's built in nuclear winter. Okay. Localization restored missing characters on the nuclear winter map voting screen in the Japanese version of the game. And then perk packs removed nuclear winter perk card packs from adventure mode quests that were awarding them as currency. Interesting. So adventure mode quests that were avoiding or awarding them as currency. Maybe that's how a few of the people in the stream have collected so many perk packs, but like never played Nuclear Winter. There's definitely a few people that mentioned that, and I guess that's what the culprit is. There's just different quests that were done and overly awarded perk packs. Okay, so that's wrapping it up for the patch notes. I think from start to finish, we've encountered a lot of these things in terms of like the bug fixes or whatever little things they got going on here. So I'm always happy to see that they're fixing stuff. My biggest worry is going to be, fix a couple of things and then break a couple other things. We're still waiting on vending machines. So at this point, we have 2 more days until the 21st for this treasure hunt thing to start. I'm very excited. Then right after that, we have the Fasnacht Parade. Last year was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. Again, this event that's happening in a couple days, if it's going to be anything like the Holiday Scorched event, maybe it could be beneficial to try to grind that out too. I don't know. I'm excited.